who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. Until the killing of black men, black mothers' sons, is as important as the killing of white men, white mothers' sons. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. That which touches me most is that I had a chance to work with people, passing on to others that which was passed on to me. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. Sing it with us, come on. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. To me, young people come first. They have the courage where we fail. And if I can but shed some light as they carry us through the gate, we who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. The older I get, the better I know that the secret of my going on is when the reins are in the hands of the young who dare to run against the storm. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. Not needing to clutch for power, not needing the light just to shine on me. I need to be one in the number as we stand against tyranny. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. Struggling myself don't mean a whole lot. I've come to realize that teaching others to stand and fight is the only way I struggle survive. Oh, we who believe in freedom cannot rest. Oh, we who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. I'm a woman who speaks in a voice, and I must be heard. At times I can be quite difficult. I bow to no man's word. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom.
Good morning. Can you breathe behind those masks? All right. I like to start this by asking your permission for the people here in the pulpit to remove their masks while they're up here at a distance from you speaking. If it makes anyone in here uncomfortable at all, would you please let us know? Okay, thank you. I think it's nicer to be able to see people talking rather than have a blank expression the whole time they're presenting whatever it is to you that they find important and want to share. This congregation is built on covenant and not creed. We don't all think alike about a number of things that matter to us individually, but we do believe together that how we live this life is important, and that walking as best we can with compassion and understanding, trying to grow towards a more broad, beloved community is something worthwhile and it's worth working for. So, whoever you are, whatever your age, race, origin, orientation, background, status, ability, religious tradition, if you care to be here with us in respectful community, you are always welcome. We front load these services with a little bit of information, trying to use as many platforms as possible to get information out. And so I am going to invite one of our board members to come give us a little bit of updating.
Good morning. Our volunteer for the month is Bennett Upton, and Bennett has done a number of things for this congregation. It's anything that goes on here, he's been involved with pretty much. He's a former board president, has been involved in the sponsor circle for the Afghani family that we welcomed and helped. He has been involved in helping with immigrant transportation, all those kinds of things. But this month we're focusing on his role on our tech team. He's run slides for us. He usually is our camera person and helps make sure that our services can get broadcast out to the world, I guess, if they go that far. So thank you, Bennett. Our Giveaway the Plate recipient for of November is the Northwest Louisiana Food Bank. Anything that comes in that's not designated as a pledge will go toward them for the month of November. You can also give online and mark it as a special donation, and that will get to the right place. And I think that's it. All right, thank you.
Hey, good morning. I'm Susan Caldwell. I'm the Director of Religious Education, and I just wanted to say that I believe our middle and high school age youth will be here in the sanctuary today to hear Mr. Davis. But I also understand that Maggie is here to paint today, maybe. So y'all can work that out. Okay, we'll give a little bit of choice there. But I would really love for the older youth to stay and hear Curtis Davis's message. Also wanted to remind you that next Saturday, November 12th, is our Not Too Early for a Holiday Market Park It Market, and we already have 11 vendors signed up. And since this is the Church of the Last Minute, I don't think that is where we'll stop. I encourage you, if you know of any artists or fabric artists or bakers or, people who create, or even people who want to come, you could bring your car to the Park It Market and get rid of stuff from your house. You could do like a little mini rummage sale, whatever you want to sell that is legal and family friendly. We are here for it. So it's $25 for a vendor space, and of course it's free to come and shop. All you pay the vendor for whatever you buy from them. I encourage people to come and sell, and please come and shop and encourage people to do that. It's 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday, November 12th. And that is our usual Building and Grounds Day. So my other announcement is that Eric is moving Building and Grounds to the following Saturday, November 19th. So that the two will not conflict with each other. And and North Louisiana Interfaith is having its Taste of Interfaith event December the 4th, I believe at Morning Star. Is that correct? Yes, at Morning Star Baptist. And so we are, I know our church is buying a couple of tables, so if you would like to buy tickets to be at one of those tables, by all means see Barbara or see me. We have tickets available, and it's a wonderful event. The tickets are $25 a piece. It is a fundraiser for Interfaith. Interfaith is a nonpartisan, multi-faith organization. We work together on issues that we have in common. We work together to create change in the community. The buses run at night because of Interfaith. There is, although it needs some more teeth in it, there is a renter's code now for the inside of rental properties as well as the outside that landlords are supposed to adhere to. Like I said, we're still working on beefing that one up a little bit, but that exists because of Interfaith. So we urge you to support that event, and we thank you.
Take a couple of breaths. Let yourself be here. Try to get your thoughts where your feet and seat are. Let the pew hold you. And let us join in elevating and contemplating matters of worth, which is the English root of the word worship. Before the wonder of life, we lift our hearts in gratitude for another day in freedom and the power to make choices that a lot of people still don't have. The first reading that I would like to offer this morning comes from a poet who died 5 years after I was born. The first poem I ever memorized was from this same poet. He's a man that my grandmother quoted to me, and so his name is Edgar A. guest. And this poem, the things that haven't been done before are the tasks worthwhile today. Are you one of the flock that follows, or are you one that shall lead the way? Are you one of the timid souls that quail at the jeers of a doubting crew? Or dare you, whether you win or fail, strike out for a goal that's new? We're called today from the midst of pain and challenge. We're called to praise the world. From a world that appears broken, and certainly in some ways is. We are called to praise life's moments of joy and grace. From time that seems to freeze in ongoing exchanges of platitudes and blame, we are called to reach out to those around us, to connect with those we care about, to try to make amends with those from whom we are estranged. The world is too fragile. There's too much pain. Let us bring our hearts together on this day. Let us praise the mutilated world in all its blessing and its pain. There is no end to what a living world will demand of you. Real change, this is from the late, great Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Real change, enduring change, happens one step at a time. So may this time together ease us, heal us, and prepare us to serve. May we breathe deeply, rest peacefully, and allow this time, to change us, so that we may then go out and make one more step for enduring change.
Are there any of the children who would like to help me lead the children's chalice lighting this morning? Jackson, would you like to help lead the chalice lighting? No. You said no, not this morning? All right. Okay, well, how about we all do it together then? We light this chalice to celebrate Unitarian Universalism. This is the church of the open mind. This is the church of the helping hands. This is the church of the loving heart. Together, with mind, hands, and heart, we care for the earth and for each other. Thank you. In the light of the chalice this morning, we have words from Victor Hugo and Angela Davis. Many of you may know the story of Les Miserables, whether from the original 1862 classic by Victor Hugo or the Broadway musical and film that came later but truncated the story a whole lot. Our speaker this morning, Curtis Davis, told us last month when he came to show the documentary that he read the book while incarcerated and that it spoke to him clearly of how a system of so-called criminal justice can bear down on a person for a relatively minor infraction and ultimately give them no choice but to become a slave or a better criminal or both. The protagonist, Jean Valjean, served 19 years as a galley slave, a convict sentenced to hard labor, for having stolen a loaf of bread to feed his starving family. When freed, he is still somehow marked as a convict wherever he goes, which drives him finally to steal again. But his fortune turns in that he has stolen from a kind bishop in a small community who, when he is caught down the road with the silver he has stolen from the rectory, testifies to the gendarmes that not only was the silver a gift for Jean Valjean, but Jean Valjean has forgotten to take along 2 very valuable silver candlesticks that were the rest of the gift. Jean Valjean catches a break, which he uses to such great advantage that he ultimately starts a new and very generous life, where he pretty much revitalizes a small, distant town and is eventually elected mayor and lives peacefully for years with no one recognizing him from his former life. But alas, this new existence cannot last, for he hears that in another city 3 convicts have been arrested that are thought to be the notorious fugitive Jean Valjean and accomplices. He travels to the courthouse in that city to confess his true identity and clear these men. And in so doing, he says, "You see, the infamy from which I have tried to escape is an injurious thing. The galleys make the galley slave what he is. Reflect upon that, if you please. Before going to the galleys, I was a poor peasant with very little intelligence. The galleys wrought a change in me. I was stupid, I became vicious. I was a block of wood, I became a firebrand. Later on, indulgence and kindness saved me, as severity had ruined me." Just a little over a century later, in 1974, Angela Davis wrote in her autobiography, "Jails and prisons are designed to break human beings, to convert the population into specimens in a zoo, obedient to our keepers but dangerous to each other. Knowing by now what hasn't worked, it's past time to build a new way." Will you join me, rise in body or spirit, and say with us, as you are comfortable, the unison affirmation, which will be printed on the screen. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve human need, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the sacred. Thus do we covenant with each other. And our song this morning is Building a New Way, with some new words by Barbara Jarrell.
And some old words.
And some old words. And the original words by Martha Sandifer. thank you. I want to share with you this morning a children's book from the 1619 Project. This is a book that's actually been banned in a lot of schools and a lot of libraries, which I just think is a horrible, sinful thing. It's a beautiful book. It is longer than what I will read today, but I encourage you absolutely buy the book. I always tell grown-ups, you need to be familiar with children's literature. You really do. It can be a really rich part of your life. And so I encourage you to get this book and read the whole thing. My teacher gives us an assignment. Who are you? She asks. Oh, let's see. Do you have the other power? Yeah, go to the other PowerPoint. And then just click, there you go. Thank you. My teacher gives us an assignment. Who are you? She asks. Trace your roots. Draw a flag that represents your ancestral land. Most of my classmates can count back many generations and learn about the countries where their families came from. They draw their flags, but I leave my paper blank. I do not know where I began, what my story is. At home, Grandma asks, how was school? I will tell her about the assignment, how I couldn't finish it, how I can only count back 3 generations here in this country where my parents, my grandparents, and my great-grandparents were born. But before that, I do not know. I tell her that I am ashamed. Grandma gathers the whole family and says, come, let me tell you our beginning. Let me tell you where we're from. What Grandma tells me. They say our people were born on the water, but our people had a home, a place, a land before they were sold. 400 years ago, in 1619, our ancestors were taken and brought here on a ship called the White Lion, a whole year before the Mayflower arrived. But before that dreadful voyage, there was a time when they did not pray for freedom. There was a time when they did not sing about overcoming. Their story does not begin with whips and chains. They had a home, a place, a land, a beginning. Their story is our story. Before they were enslaved, they were free. The people were good with their minds, good at math and science. They used shells for money, counting, recording, trading. They knew what their work was worth. They spoke Kimbundu. They had their own words for joy, for grow, for home. Their hands had a knowing. They knew how to hold a baby close, how to rock the child to keep her from crying. Their hands knew how to mix herbs, how to get the just right flavor for a meal. Their hands knew how to beat and twist and shape iron, how to make gardening tools and armor and weapons. Their hearts had a knowing. They knew how to make work joyful and to create rhythm by pounding the tools against metal. They knew how to make music to keep them company as they worked. Their minds had a knowing, working, curious, sharp. When they met the white people, they learned quick, taught their tongues to speak Portuguese, taught their eyes to read strange words. They knew how to mix the old with the new, how even an ancient people always had more to learn. And they danced. And the people moved their feet, moved their whole bodies to the melody of horns and stringed instruments, of marimbas and drums. They danced to celebrate, to mourn. They danced as a way to worship, to offer thanks. Their bodies a song under open sky and bright sun. Their bodies a swaying testament to the beauty of creation. Stolen. And the white people took them anyway. Kidnapped them, baptized them in the name of their God, stamped them with new names. Ours is no immigration story. They did not get to pack bags stuffed with cherished things, with the doll that Grandma had woven from tall grass, or the baby blanket handed down from generation to generation, all the way back, so far back that it carried the scent of the ancestors. They could not hug their fathers and mothers, daughters and sons, hearts thumping in rhythm, clinging to that final sweetness before the parting, No promises whispered from mouth to ear of seeing each other soon. The white lion. No one knows how long it took before they knew they would never see Ndongo again, never run along the high, high plateau, or throw their heads back and giggle with their best friends. Maybe it was the second month or the third, when they had not seen their land or any land for so many days they could no longer count. Point Comfort. Finally, the ship stopped moving and the people were dragged to the deck. They closed their eyes against the light of a sun they had not seen since Mother Africa's coast. They closed their eyes against the sight of a land that was not theirs. They cried a silent cry as white men spoke strange words, talking about their bodies, and with a handshake traded another's child, another's mama and daddy. 30 to 50 beloved human beings in all for a few pounds of food and drink. 400 years ago, in the year 1619, the white people called this land Virginia, a sweet-sounding word for a place of such pain, a sweet-sounding word for the place where American slavery began. From sunup to sundown, the people worked the fields, sowing and harvesting tobacco. The crops were sold to Europe, bringing wealth to Virginia, but the enslaved people did not get anything in return for their labor. The people worked and worked. When the people grew weary, they remembered their yesterdays. They remembered their songs from Ndongo, and they sang them to ease their spirits. And as they sang, they looked into the future, hoped for better days. They planted prayers into the heavens, praying for freedom. Out to make a home. After a long day's work planting tobacco in the fields, after brutal treatment, after nothing to show for their hard work, there would come a longing for Ndongo, for the mamas, for the daddies, for the friends they could no longer hug and talk with under the warm sun. We are in a strange land, they said, but we are still here and we will make this home. We have our songs, our recipes, our know-how. We have our joy. We will love, laugh, sing, and hug our children as tight as you can hold a child. We will survive because we have each other. And the people learned new words for love, for friend, for family, for joy, for grow, for home. We are in a strange land, they said, but we are here, and we will make this home. We have determination, imagination, faith. We will survive because we have each other. Resist. Life was hard, and it would get harder for the generations to come. White people told the people they were not human, that the people were things to be bought and sold and given as gifts alongside horses and chairs. When the people were beaten, they said the people did not feel pain. When they sold the people's children, they said the people didn't love. There were lies. These were lies they made up so they could feel okay about slavery. It is wrong, always and forever, and now, to own human beings. It is wrong, always and forever, to treat human beings like things. The people fought back. For 250 years, the people resisted every day in ways big and small. For 250 years, the biggest resistance of all was that the people kept living. And the people who were born on the water survived, kept living and living. It was illegal to teach enslaved people how to read, but they birthed generations of teachers and librarians, scholars and authors. They were brokenhearted, beaten and bruised, but they became healers, pastors and activists, doctors and counselors. No one could steal the people's joy. They wrote songs, created jazz and hip-hop, rhythm and blues. They became inventors and athletes, nurses and cooks, pilots and architects, farmers and housekeepers, singers and artists, dancers and poets, mathematicians and scientists. They passed on their stories through the stitch of a quilt. They shared secret messages through songs. The people survived. The people fought. And because the people survived and because the people fought, they finally got freedom. Mostly. And because the people survived and because the people fought, America has equality in the law. Almost. And because the people survived and because the people fought, America began to live up to its promise. Began to live up to its promise of democracy. It is the people who fight for this democracy still. And I have lost the last page. Grandma looks at me and my brother and tells us, this is why we say Black Lives Matter, why we celebrate Black Girl Magic, why we believe we are our ancestors' wildest dreams. Never forget we are their hope. Never forget you come from a people of great strength, Grandma says. Be proud of our story, your story. The next day, I go to school, I pull out my red crayon and my blue and my white, and I draw the stars and I draw the stripes of the flag of the country that my ancestors built, that my grandma and grandpa built, and that I will help build too. And I am not ashamed. I know what my story is, where I am from, where I begin. So, yeah, it's okay, yeah. It's a beautiful story, and it is past time to take the last vestiges of slavery out of the Constitution of Louisiana. And I hope that if you haven't voted yet, that on Tuesday you will vote yes on Amendment 7. And we are ready to sing the younger ones out. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
Let us be united in the spirit of aspiration and thanksgiving. Eternal light towards whose quickening all generations yearn. We lift our hearts in thanksgiving for all true faith and service. For those of every time and place who take upon themselves all suffering along the way, who are quick to search out first glimmerings of the justice and mercy that sleep in human hearts, who would make of their own lives a pathway to the light. May this company of earth ministers be quickened with understanding for all human frailty. May it touch with blessing and comfort the dreams of youth, the wistfulness of age, the loneliness and longing for human companionship in all times of life. May it affirm with courage the uniqueness of every person and celebrate with joy the grandeur of the human spirit. May each member come to move with courage and wisdom to protect, defend, and further establish rights and autonomy for all. May we continue to have faith, as Abraham Lincoln said, that right makes might, and in that faith dare to do our duty as we understand it. May this servant body, gifted with inner light, always look beyond itself with that divine discontent which will never rest until every child of earth is increasingly free from all prisons of the mind and the body and the spirit. Until all goodness, justice, and mercy cover the earth as the waters cover the sea. In the name of all earth's children, would we seek it? To your Spirit that moves in us and among us and through us, we lift our intention and commitment as we come to a time of silence. May we open our spirits to possibility and insight. May we listen and hear the echoes of freedom blowing through history, that we may discern clear ways to follow.
Circle round for freedom, circle round for peace, for all of us imprisoned. Circle for release, circle for the planet, circle for its soul, for the children of our children. Keep the circle whole. Circle round for freedom, circle round for peace, for all of us imprisoned. Circle for release, circle for the planet, circle for its soul, for the children of our children. Keep the circle whole. Circle round for freedom, circle round for peace, for all of us imprisoned. circle for release, circle for the planet, circle for each soul, for the children of our children. Keep the circle whole.
Curtis Davis had served his country in the Army and believed in law and order and the moral correctness of the judiciary until September of 1990, when he was arrested in Compton, California, and extradited to Louisiana on a warrant of second-degree murder, a crime he had not committed. He was subsequently wrongfully convicted and spent 25 years in Angola, but it was there that he learned he had a talent for organizing as well as a natural aptitude for the law. His work in the law library at Angola gave him the tools that he needed to win his 9th application for post-conviction relief. Since his release from Angola in July of 2016, he has worked tirelessly on his own and with several organizations, I think most recently Decarcerate Louisiana, to help others who are incarcerated and to eliminate slavery from the Louisiana Constitution. He is the best teller of his own story, so please help me welcome back to All Souls, Curtis Davis.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. That is to say that I seek refuge from the accursed and rejected enemy, Satan, and I praise God and know that He is the only one worthy of praise. I bear witness that we have to work, though, as vessels for God to realize real activity in human life. So I think the Bible says faith without works is dead, right? Thank you so much for having me again, the opportunity to come and speak to my family at All Souls. You guys have always treated us well, even back when I first came to the church to do the Justice Reinvestment Act. I met you guys back in 2017. Some of you are new, but this fight is really, really old. And when Susan was reading the children's book from the 1619 Project, I almost actually cried, because that's the story. That's the reason. That's the problem in America. We cannot seem to have this conversation that if you witness a person that is in the skin that I'm in, you kind of want to say, well, I mean, this is America. You have opportunities. Why don't you just pull yourself up by your own bootstraps and get out there and get it like everybody else gets it, right? The problem is that if you see somebody like me in the skin that I'm in, most likely we are suffering from some form of post-traumatic stress disorder, or what you might want to call post-traumatic slave syndrome, right? Generations of people who were cut off as a child. I didn't even have black people to look at on television. I'm 53 years old. I didn't have anything to aspire to. Everything was blaxploitation. Everything was negative, and it seemed like it was okay to be negative as long as you were talking about black people, right? So I grew up thinking, hey, this is the way we're supposed to be, I guess. But I fought hard to be something better. I was a straight A student in school. I could always write. I would always do like soliloquies and plays, and a pretty good public speaker without training. And I thought that I was on the right upward trajectory in the United States of America to access what people call the American dream. Unfortunately, half of my roots were in Shreveport, Louisiana. And every summer, I used to have to come back here and visit. As long as I was in California, things seemed to be going pretty good in my life. Even though there was racism, there wasn't so much overt racism that they would just really just like, have the Confederate flag out or something. When I went to court, as a matter of fact, I'm just jump around in this story to get to the end of it. When I went to court, they had the Confederate flag in front of the courthouse, right, when they flew me back here from California. I kept saying, man, I didn't even do the crime. Why are you guys messing with me? And then I seen the flag. And I guess I felt the same way a Jewish person would have felt if they would have been in the Nazi Star Chamber and they seen the flag and the swastika and they're about to go to court. You think you finna get a fair one up in here, don't you? No, it's not gonna be no fair ones in here. You're just about to, come through this system. So I was convicted of a second-degree murder that I didn't commit. And in 1992, a jury of 12 people decided on a 10-2 verdict that I should be sentenced to prison for the rest of my life. 10-2. Remember, only in Louisiana could you do something like that. It's called the non-unanimous verdict. It has its roots in a constitution that was designed to marginalize a group into infinitum. Those are the words that were said on the floor of the legislature when the law was ready. We can marginalize the Negroes into infinitum by making this bill pass. So I started studying a whole lot of law while I was in prison, and I started going into legislative intent. I read the entire Constitution, this one in a few other states, and the federal one, by the way. You have a lot of time in prison, right? So you just sit back, and we're analyzing, and I want to find a map to the maze, like how is this working? Because I tried to escape physically. Didn't work, got caught. Tried to escape again. They made it to where I could never leave out of a cell for about 7 years straight. And in that 7 years, I had time to process and find myself. And then I found faith. And I said, because in order to do this type of stuff, bro, you have to believe in something way bigger than yourself. Because there's no way one man can attack a system this resourceful, this insidious, and this old, hoping to win, especially when your people don't know that they're slaves, right? Harriet Tubman said it. She said, I freed thousands of slaves, and I could have had freed thousands of more had they only known that they were slaves. When she went to the plantations, she had to actually pull out a Colt 45 gun to make people leave. Because I can't let you go back, you're gonna tell. And they're going to kill all of us. So I'm going to have to kill you now. And you going to go up north with us. So the story is, she got them up north, even against their will. We find ourselves in a battle right now in the state of Louisiana that is so crazy, you guys wouldn't even believe it. For the last 3 years, I've been sneaking legislation in to the, trying to put little stuff in the Constitution that might crack the foundation of what we call institutional racism, right? Just to crack the foundation. Finally, we have an opportunity for all of the people of Louisiana to decide whether or not the state of Louisiana should own people. Because little do you know, but they own people. When I was a slave on the Massa Plantation down in Angola, which is 18,000 acres, Manhattan is only 14,000 acres. We're talking about the biggest penal colony on the planet Earth. And I was a slave there. And we was picking so much stuff. And it was so hot outside. So one day, I took a 25-pound dumbbell and dropped it on my foot. So I wouldn't have to go outside. They charged me with destruction of state property by damaging the foot connected to my leg. That's a thing that's way beneath a level of human decency. So I started to realize why they were able to treat us the way that they were treating us, because this wasn't just hyperbole. Legally, I was considered a slave or involuntary servant. That's a part of chattel in law. I don't know if you guys remember the Dred Scott case, when a slave that escaped his master went up north, and he complained to the courts and said that I escaped and I'm in a free land. Now y'all got to give me freedom. The Supreme Court came back and said that he didn't have any rights that a white man was bound to respect. That's the language of the court. So we're battling that type of stuff. So right now, a human being in Angola is not considered a full human being. You're something above a horse, but below a human, right? You still just can't be outright killed or whatever. But if you disobey enough and show enough defiance, there is justification in using the force of the state against you to compel you to do whatever is necessary to get you to do what they need you to do. I personally don't believe that we need to enslave people to punish them, right? So I made it my mission. Say, we're going to do away with this slavery thing. I know that Abraham Lincoln didn't do it, and he couldn't get it right because they killed him before it was possible. But some of us, when we find that if you see something wrong anywhere in this society, and I'm talking about you and you and you, if you see it, then it's your job to change it. You can say, well, why didn't somebody do something about this? You're the one see it. Do something about it. I'm trying to demonstrate to people all over this world that we can do something about even the impossible stuff. Because this is impossible. We have slavery on the ballot right now in 5 states: Vermont, Tennessee, Alabama, Oregon, and Louisiana. How does something like that even happen? Next year, we're projected to have 20 states on the ballot, and then we're going to ratify the 13th Amendment that make this an even playing field. Imagine what might happen if they weren't slaves anymore. That if we can stop concentrating on vengeance and punishment and start concentrating on corrections and rehabilitation for real. What would happen if your crime rate started to really go down? What would happen if the money flow from prison, from grandmama to prison, from wife to prison, from girlfriend to prison, started changing from the prisoner paying his child support, prisoner paying his fines and taxes and fees, prisoner taking care of his family while he's in prison, and Avondale Shipyard having to pay him a regular wage, or Avis Rent-A-Car, or Whole Foods, or whoever exploits prison labor and gets billions of dollars, because this is not benefiting the taxpayer. This is benefiting private corporations who are stronger and smarter than we are. And they're like, we're just going to scare you. Y'all see all the commercials during election time? Hey, you want to say something bad, you go talk to a crackhead next time you need some help then. Or you're going to die at night. They're all dark, and they show the same pictures of 4 guys with a gun on a surveillance tape because they want us to be afraid. But Benjamin Franklin said that he who would trade freedom for safety or security deserves neither. The idea of the United States of America, the idea of a democracy, is about having the freedom to use your own voice and your own choice. They are paying social media influencers right now to say vote no on 7. This thing has gotten so big, you don't even see it on your newspapers. You don't hear anything on your radio, but we are in 128 media outlets right now talking about this story. I send them to Susan. We're Bloomberg, The Economist magazine, New York Times, Washington Post. It's viral. The China, Al Jazeera, everything. But in Shreveport, the Times magazine won't even talk about we still have real slavery in the state of Louisiana. Or they'll talk about it in such a way to confuse even more what they're trying to do, because they don't believe that we can have a state that doesn't use its legal apparatus as a weapon. Imagine if we reinvented. Imagine if we thought about it, a different type of world, a world where we really could live together, y'all. That you wouldn't have to be scared of me when you come to the gas station. That you know I'm probably pretty a nice, a cool dude. But the programming in the media is so bad that sometimes I see a couple of brothers with the hoodies on at the gas station, and I'm gonna go up the street. I ain't gonna even stop right there. And I grew up with them. You understand? So I'm telling you how pervasive this is. The dehumanization of the black male figure, or the boogeyman concept, or whatever you want to do. I'm trying to redo this thing, and I don't want to talk to you guys a whole long time. I did want to share positive energy with you and let you know that this is not a bad thing. To take slavery away. If slavery is bad, it's bad, bro. And we have the highest crime rates. We have the highest incarceration rates. So common sense gotta tell you that locking up people don't lower crime. We have to rethink this. What did Albert Einstein say? If you keep doing the same thing, expecting a different result, then that is the definition of insanity. Thank you very much for having me out this morning. We'll talk about it. If you guys want to view the video, we will. Or we can just spend time in congregation talking to each other, or whatever's clever for Reverend. Thank you.
Our hymn is twofold. We're going to do one verse of "We'll Build a Land," and then we're going to go straight into "Keep Moving Forward" with some different lyrics. So just watch, you'll catch them. Would you rise and body your spirit? Break those chains together. Break those chains together. Break those chains together. Never turning back. Never turning back. Gonna keep on moving forward. May we never rest until every child on earth and every generation is free from all prisons of the mind and the body and spirit, until the earth and the hills and the seas shall dance and the universe itself resound with the joyful cry, "Behold, I am." Billie Eilish said, with what is going on in our country, we need to get out to the polls and vote for what we believe in. Not showing up is not an option. We all have to vote like our lives depend on it, like the world depends on it, because they do. The only way to be certain of the future is to make it ourselves. Mr. Davis's 23-minute video can be shown. How many have not seen it yet? The video, the 23-minute video. Okay, I'm going to invite everybody when we finish the service to maybe vote on whether we should show the video or just have a discussion. Or
We can do both. We need just a few minutes in between, and we can either do it here or down in the social hall, either way.
down in the social hall, you could drink coffee and eat snacks, and in here, that's not an option. So,
As far as the live stream is concerned, it's also right now on YouTube, right? So we will not live stream since we've had Wi-Fi issues with that this morning. But it is on YouTube, but if you can stay and watch it together with us, we will have it.
So, if you have 1 ounce of care for America, democracy, and the future of freedom, vote. Carry the power of your voice in peace as we go out of this gathering. Let your compassion lead with the light of truth and reason before you. May the ultimate source and spirit of life hold this nation and bless the better angels of her nature. Ashe, blessed be, so be it. Amen. Miss Susan, I'm leaving you in charge of the decisions here.
Well, we're going to actually play some very appropriate music to say goodbye to our Facebook friends, and then we'll figure it out.
Do you hear the people singing the song of angry men? It is the music of a people who will not be slaves again. When the beating of your heart echoes the beating of the drums, there is a life about to start when tomorrow comes. Will you join in our crusade? We will be strong and stand with me. Beyond the barricade, is there a world you long to see? Then join in the fight that will give you the right to be free.